Must watch. Never tell a woman these 7 things. It kills attraction instantly. Modern Stoic. The way to a woman's heart isn't through the right pickup line or flashy displays of wealth. It's through understanding the deeper, often unspoken cues that build true attraction. Unknown. When it comes to attracting women, many men mistakenly believe that looks, money, or a clever pickup line are all it takes. However, true attraction is much more complex, and sometimes it's shaped by something as simple as the words you choose. What you say and what you don't say can make or break the way she sees you. There are certain things you should never say to a woman because once those words are out, they can't be taken back. They have the power to shift how she perceives you in an instant, often in ways you might not even realize. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding how women respond to qualities like confidence, leadership, and mystery, and how some innocent words can quickly undermine these traits. Many men unknowingly sabotage their chances with women simply by saying the wrong things. What you may think is being honest, vulnerable, or romantic could actually come across as insecure, weak, or desperate. And once a woman picks up on that, her attraction begins to fade. The most unsettling part, you don't even have to say something overtly negative for this to happen. Even words that seem sweet or harmless can kill the spark and with it, the attraction. In this guide, I'll walk you through 7 critical things you should never say to a woman if you want to maintain her respect, desire, and interest. I'll explain why these mistakes are so common, what they signal to her subconscious, and how you can communicate in a way that keeps the attraction alive. If you've ever wondered why a woman's energy towards you shifted or why she seemed interested at first but then pulled away, chances are you've said one of these things without realizing the damage it caused. Stick with me, and I'll show you how understanding these nuances can help you avoid killing the attraction before it even has a chance to develop. 1. Stop telling her how lucky you are to have her. Here's something many men say without thinking twice. But you must stop, "I'm so lucky to have you." At first glance, it sounds like a sweet, heartfelt sentiment. She's smiling, you're feeling grateful, and you think it's the perfect thing to say. But hold up. The problem here is much bigger than you think, and it can have a serious impact on the attraction between you two. This kind of statement, when said repeatedly, doesn't have the magical effect you think it does. In fact, it can do the exact opposite. Here's why attraction isn't just about feelings. It's about mutual value. Both of you need to feel equally valued in the relationship. If you start saying things like, "I'm lucky to have you," you're essentially positioning her as the prize and yourself as the man who somehow lucked out. And that's a problem. You see, in a healthy relationship, both partners should feel like equals. But when you imply that she's the rare gem and you're just the lucky guy, you're not elevating her, you're lowering yourself, even if she doesn't consciously pick up on it. That subtle shift in the dynamic can change everything. You're telling her, without words, that she's the one with options and you're the one who's easily replaceable. That's not an attractive stance. Women are drawn to men who exude confidence, and nothing kills confidence more than the feeling of being lucky or out of your league. Now, don't misunderstand me. Showing appreciation is crucial. Let her know that you value her. But there's a fine line between gratitude and putting her so high on a pedestal that you can't even see yourself standing next to her. When you do that, you're essentially admitting, without saying it outright, that she holds the power in the relationship, and power imbalances are never attractive. The most attractive relationships are the ones where both people feel they bring something to the table. It's a partnership. It's equality. So instead of saying, "I'm so lucky to have you," try this instead. "We make a great team," or "We're good together." Those phrases speak to mutual respect and shared value. They shift the energy, making her see that you're an equal contributor to the relationship. It's the same principle the modern Stoic adheres to. No one is above anyone else. Confidence isn't about boasting or putting others down. It's about recognizing your own worth and acting accordingly. If you stop talking like you're just lucky to have her and start expressing gratitude in a way that acknowledges your own role in the relationship, you'll see the attraction skyrocket. It's that simple. Let's bring the old Stoic teachings into this. Balance is key. When one person feels too secure while the other feels too uncertain, the relationship dynamic tilts and attraction fades. You need balance. Don't just give her all the power. Instead, make sure that both of you feel you're equals in the relationship. When you act like you belong, not because you're lucky, but because you genuinely deserve to be there, she'll see you in a new light. She won't just respect you more, she'll also find you more attractive. Remember, confidence is contagious. When you walk through life like a man who deserves success, respect, and love, others will follow suit, including her. So, take the advice of the modern Stoic. Stop positioning yourself as the man who's just happy to be there. Show her through your actions that you're an equal partner, and you'll see how quickly the dynamics of attraction change in your favor. 2. Never admit you can't get other women. This one is a classic. Yet too many men fall into this trap, often without realizing it. You might think you're expressing vulnerability or deep affection, but in reality, you're sabotaging your own attraction. It can happen during a heated moment, perhaps after a disagreement, or in the midst of a romantic gesture. You might blurt out something like, "I don't know what I'd do without you," or "No other woman would want me like you do." You might even believe it's a sweet, raw confession, a way of showing your feelings. But in reality, this kind of statement is a major attraction killer. Here's why. In the realm of dating and relationships, perceived value is everything. Women are wired to be drawn to men who have options, not because they're hoping you'll be with someone else, but because it signals that you're desirable, confident, and in demand. This is where the blessing of Stoicism comes into play. The Stoic lessons show us the power of restraint and self-discipline. Women want a man who isn't defined by one relationship. They're drawn to someone who maintains his independence and is not emotionally dependent on any one person. When you admit that you can't get other women, you're not just saying that she's special. What you're truly saying is, "You're my only shot at love, intimacy, and validation." This isn't just a confidence issue, it's an emotional one. The moment you put all your eggs in her basket, you lose your power. Think about it from her perspective. If she believes that you can't attract other women, her mind starts asking questions. Then why can't you get other women? Is it your confidence? Is it your social life? Is it your lack of direction in life? Is it your inability to connect on a deeper level? The truth is, attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. And when a woman feels like you're desperate or dependent, it strips away that emotional pull. Here's the emotional message you're sending when you say, "No other woman would want me like you do. I'm lucky you even looked my way because no one else would." That message is toxic. It flips the power dynamic. Suddenly, she's in control. She holds the key to whether the relationship stays or goes. That's not what a healthy relationship looks like. Attraction thrives on mutual respect, not one-sided dependence. But let's be clear. This doesn't mean you have to turn into a brash, cocky man who brags about his options. That's childish and unattractive. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in quiet confidence. You don't need to talk about all the women who are supposedly into you, because that makes you look insecure, not desirable. What you need is a silent, steady strength that communicates, I choose to be here. I'm not here because I have no other options. I'm here because I want to be here. That's the foundation of true attraction. So what's the alternative? How do you demonstrate that you are attractive, but not desperate? It starts with letting your life reflect abundance, not in women, but in purpose, ambition, self-worth, and discipline. Show her that your life is rich with goals, experiences, and values. The more she sees that you're a man of purpose, the more she'll understand that your worth isn't tied to just her approval. When she knows that you have options, but still choose her, that's when her attraction to you deepens. This is the secret. It's not about bragging or flaunting your options. It's about living a life that speaks for itself. A life so rich in purpose and ambition that, when you choose her, it feels like an honor, not a desperate act of survival. Don't let your words destroy what your actions could build. Avoid saying anything that signals that she's your only hope. Instead, let your confidence, discipline, and ambition shine through. Show her that you choose to be with her, not because you can't get anyone else, but because, and in this vast world, you've chosen her. And that, my friend, is magnetic. Remember the Stoic lessons. A man who is emotionally independent, who chooses his path with strength and conviction, becomes a figure of profound attraction. Women are drawn to that strength, not weakness. Let your life, your choices, and your very presence be a reflection of that quiet confidence. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. And of course, subscribe for more insights and wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a high-value man and I choose to be here. 3. Don't share every fear and insecurity. You must understand one critical thing. Vulnerability isn't a free pass to unload every fear, doubt, and insecurity onto a woman. Many men fall into the trap of thinking that vulnerability equals emotional transparency at all costs. They believe if they open up about every little fear, from their body image to the fear of losing their job, it will bring them closer. But this is where they go wrong. True vulnerability, in moderation, can build connection. But constant emotional outpouring only destroys attraction. When you expose every weakness and insecurity, you stop showing strength. A man who is constantly seeking emotional rescue is not the confident partner she is attracted to. Instead, you're handing her the role of the emotional caretaker. And that shift is lethal to attraction. Attraction thrives on polarity. As a Stoic man, you must be the rock, the anchor in the storm. If you're constantly breaking down emotionally, she must step into the strong role, and slowly, she becomes the one in control, not you. This imbalance will drain the energy between you, kill the spark, and destroy the romance. She might still love you deeply, but the sexual desire, that powerful force of attraction, will diminish. Let's be clear, this is not about bottling up your feelings. That will only create distance. Stoic principles teach us balance, and that's what you need. Vulnerability is powerful, but it must be paired with strength, resilience, and groundedness. There's a world of difference between saying, I've had a stressful week, but I'm handling it, and saying, I'm scared I'm going to lose my job and I have no idea what to do. One is an expression of strength with a human touch. The other is a plea for emotional rescue. Think about it this way when you go to a doctor. You expect them to be composed. Even if the news is bad, you trust them because they give you solutions and confidence, not despair. This is the principle that applies to relationships as well. When life presents a challenge, share it with her in a way that shows you are grounded, composed, and capable of handling whatever comes your way. Women are attracted to men who can stand tall in the face of adversity. It's not about being perfect. It's about being strong, steady, and resilient, while showing your vulnerable side in a way that doesn't overwhelm her. Strength does not come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't, said Ricky Rogers. This is the essence of a Stoic life. The best version of yourself isn't one that crumbles at the first sign of difficulty, but one that faces challenges with a steady heart and a clear mind. Embrace your vulnerability, but never let it undermine your strength. Keep the balance, keep your composure, and let your vulnerability be the spice that adds richness, not the foundation that crumbles everything. You must lead with strength, and only then will your vulnerability be both real and attractive. This is how you master the art of connection without sacrificing your power. This is how you build a relationship that stands the test of time, rooted in Stoic principles. 4. Avoid asking if she still loves you. One of the quickest ways to lose a woman's interest is by constantly seeking reassurance about her feelings. Asking questions like, "Do you still love me, or are you still attracted to me?" might feel innocent at first, but it soon reveals a deeper issue: insecurity. This kind of behavior suggests that you're unsure of your own worth, which is a massive turnoff. The old Stoic wisdom teaches us to find confidence from within, not from external validation. And in relationships, nothing drains attraction faster than neediness, because it shows you're not secure in your own identity. Let me tell you about a guy named Marcus. He had a beautiful, loyal girlfriend who supported him through thick and thin, career struggles, family problems, and even long-distance hurdles. But Marcus had a habit that slowly chipped away at their bond. Every time she was busy, quiet, or didn't respond right away, he'd panic and ask, "You still love me, right?" At first, she brushed it off with a laugh, but over time, it became exhausting. Months went by with him repeating the same insecure question, and soon she felt like she was emotionally babysitting him instead of enjoying their relationship. Eventually, she told him she didn't see him as the confident, grounded man she had fallen for. That's the hidden danger of needing constant reassurance. Sooner or later, you stop being the man she once admired when you keep seeking verbal confirmation of her feelings. You're inadvertently telling her that you don't believe in your own value. This isn't just a minor issue, it's a significant shift in how she perceives you. As the modern Stoic knows, real strength comes from internal stability. If you're relying on her love to feel good about yourself, you're creating a dependency, not attraction. Relationships are built on mutual respect and security, and that security has to come from you first. Occasionally checking in with your partner is perfectly fine, but when it becomes a regular habit, it sends the message that you're emotionally unstable, not a strong, self-sufficient individual. In reality, her actions, whether she's making time for you, showing affection, or putting in effort, are the true signs of love, not the words you beg her to say to fill the void of your own insecurity. The shift here is simple. Stop looking for emotional security from her words and start creating it within yourself. Build your self-confidence through your achievements, your discipline, and your social life. The more secure you are in your own identity, the less you'll need her to validate you. This is the blessing of Stoicism, the ability to stand firm in your worth regardless of external circumstances. Marcus learned this the hard way. After his breakup, he didn't wallow. Instead, he focused on his career, hit the gym, reconnected with his friends, and found a deeper sense of purpose. When he entered his next relationship, he never once asked, "Do you still love me?" And interestingly, his new girlfriend never left him guessing. Why? Because women are naturally drawn to men who believe in themselves. When you stand firm in your value and exude self-confidence, you no longer need constant verbal reassurances. You show her, through your actions and your inner strength, that you're secure in your own worth. And when you do this, she'll naturally continue to love and respect you. The lesson is clear: if you constantly question whether she still loves you, you might just end up planting the seed of doubt in her mind. But when you're grounded and confident in your own value, the attraction only grows. So remember, don't ask for reassurance. Be the modern Stoic who knows his worth, and the love and attraction you seek will naturally follow. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 5. Don't tell her she's out of your league. Gentlemen, let's clear this up right now. It might sound like a compliment, but telling a woman, "You're out of my league," is one of the most self-sabotaging moves you can make. Trust me, when you say, "You're out of my league," what you're actually saying is, "I'm not worthy of you," and that's not humility. It's self-deprecation in disguise. It's an insecurity wrapped up in a compliment that nobody wants. Not her, and definitely not you. Let's break it down. This comment places her on a pedestal so high that you're practically admitting you're not worthy to be standing next to her. Sure, you might think it's flattering. After all, you're showing her that you think she's exceptional. But here's the catch. When you make a statement like that, you're effectively telling her, "You could do better, and I don't belong in your world." And if she starts hearing that from you, her subconscious begins asking if he doesn't think he's good enough for me. Maybe I'm not that great after all. This isn't a scenario where you get to keep the high ground and be the humble, lovable underdog. In fact, over time, this type of imbalance erodes the very thing that keeps attraction alive: mutual respect. The dynamic shifts dramatically. Instead of seeing you as her equal, she starts to see you as someone inferior, someone she might have to take care of emotionally. And that, my friends, is when attraction begins to wither. I know. Some guys think that women like feeling like the prize in a relationship, but that's a miscalculation. Sure, a little flattery is fine, but true, long-lasting attraction doesn't thrive on inequality. It thrives when both partners feel like equals. You're not some charity case she's benevolently bestowing her affection upon. And conversely, she's not just someone you should look up to from below. That's the root of this issue. It all comes down to balance, but there's more to it than just this. If you're saying, "You're out of my league," you might be subconsciously fishing for reassurance. You want her to respond with, "No, you're amazing. I'm the lucky one." But here's the problem: when you make this a habit, it starts to feel more needy than endearing. You're relying on her to fix your self-esteem, and that is not a good look. Attraction is drawn from confidence, not from constantly putting yourself down in the hopes that she'll pick you back up. Confidence is key, and every time you diminish yourself, you weaken that initial attraction she had for you in the first place. So, what's the fix? How can you express admiration without diminishing yourself? It's simple. Compliment her. yes, but also affirm your own value in the process. Instead of belittling yourself by saying, "You're out of my league," you could say something like, "We make a great team," or "I really appreciate how we bring out the best in each other." Now, that's a compliment that doesn't come at the cost of your self-worth. Better yet, zero in on specific qualities you admire about her. Don't make sweeping generalizations that make you sound like a lost puppy. Instead, focus on traits that genuinely stand out. "I admire how driven you are. It pushes me to level up too." Or perhaps, "You have this infectious energy that makes everything more fun. I love how you challenge me in the best way possible." These compliments work wonders because they express admiration without turning you into a self-deprecating mess. They reinforce equality, which is critical for long-term attraction. And more importantly, they show that you're not lucky to be with her. You are an equal partner and both of you benefit from being together. And here's a little bonus for you. This kind of thinking aligns beautifully with the blessing of Stoicism. A Stoic man understands his worth without needing constant validation. He remains grounded in the knowledge that true attraction, true connection, is rooted in equality and mutual respect. Stoic lessons guide us to see value in ourselves and others without needing to place anyone on an unreachable pedestal. The Stoic man doesn't look for reassurance. He knows that his confidence, rooted in self-awareness, will sustain the bond. So Dansa, take this with you. Don't ever tell her she's out of your league. Embrace the Stoic mindset. Focus on equal footing, mutual admiration, and real confidence. You'll be surprised how much more attractive that makes you. 6. Never reveal you change everything for her. Never, under any circumstances, reveal that you change everything for her. On the surface, it may seem romantic. You might be in the middle of an intimate conversation. She's sharing her dreams, and you think it's a grand gesture to say, "I'd change my whole life for you." Society, movies, and love songs have glorified this notion, leading many men to believe it's the ultimate act of love. But in reality, it's a relationship killer. Why? Because it signals weakness and a lack of conviction. It says your values, your goals, your identity, and your purpose can be discarded on a whim for her approval. Initially, she might smile and see it as a sweet gesture. But over time, it becomes a heavy burden she can't ignore. Women are attracted to men who stand firm on their own 2 feet, men who have a solid foundation and a clear sense of purpose. That purpose might include her, but it should never revolve entirely around her. When you tell her you'd change everything for her, you're showing her that you have no foundation of your own. And a man without a foundation is a man she can't trust. Think about it. You've spent years building your career, and she doesn't like it. If your immediate response is, "I'll quit tomorrow if that's what you want," you're not showing love. You're showing a lack of conviction and self-respect. You're willing to abandon your dreams so quickly. So why should she believe you'll stand firm in the relationship when things get hard? Relationships require sacrifice. Yes, they demand compromise, certainly. But there's a difference between adjusting together and completely abandoning your purpose to appease her. The first is a partnership. The second is self-erasure. And it will erode attraction faster than anything else. A man who loses himself to please her isn't someone she can rely on. A far better approach is to assert your strength and identity while expressing your love. "I want us to build a life where we can both grow." You should say, "I'm open to adjustments, but I have goals I'm committed to. I care deeply about what matters to you. But I also value my purpose, and I want to find a way that works for both of us." This kind of statement demonstrates love and strength. It shows you're considering her needs without losing yourself in the process. It's a display of leadership, of clarity, and of a Stoic mindset. It demonstrates that while you care for her deeply, you're also committed to your own path, your own identity, and this is the kind of man she can respect and admire, someone who can love with depth without sacrificing his own soul. As the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, to maintain your integrity, your values, and your self-worth, no matter the external pressures. You must never compromise your sense of self for anyone, not even for love. Stick to your principles, and you'll command the respect you deserve, both from her and from yourself. Remember, the Stoic life is about mastering oneself, not losing oneself. Do not erase your identity for anyone. It's time to rise, to assert your purpose, and to build a life that is yours. A life that includes her, but never at the cost of your own soul. The Stoic man knows this truth: you can only love deeply when you have something solid to stand on. If you've made it this far, you're already understanding what it takes to build attraction in a lasting relationship. Real strength lies in standing firm in your own identity and purpose. Remember, compromise is essential, but self-erasure is not. Please comment, "I am committed to my own purpose, and I'll build a strong relationship without losing myself." 7. Don't confess you can't live without her. There's a line that many men have used at some point: "I can't live without you." You've heard it in love songs, seen it in movies, and maybe even said it yourself during those intense moments of romance. At first glance, so it might seem like the ultimate declaration of devotion, a statement of undying love. But Kurt, trust me, it's one of the most unattractive things you can say to a woman. Why? Because it's not love that's being communicated, it's dependence. When you say, "I can't live without you," what you're really saying is, "Well, my happiness, my stability, my very purpose all hinge on your existence." And that, my friend, is not what keeps attraction alive. Sure, she might find it sweet at first, maybe even romantic. But over time, it becomes a weight she'll struggle to carry. No woman wants to be the emotional anchor that holds your world together. She doesn't want the burden of feeling responsible for your emotional survival. Attraction isn't built on obligation or responsibility. It thrives on choice. She wants to be with someone who chooses her, who finds joy in the relationship, not someone who's there out of necessity. A modern Stoic understands that true attraction comes from emotional independence, not desperate reliance. Here's where things get tricky. When you confess that you can't live without her, you give her all the power. You're telling her that in one swift move, she could walk away and shatter your entire world. This shifts the dynamic in the relationship from one of mutual respect to a fragile emotional imbalance. You, the so-called strong man, are now the emotionally dependent one, and she's become the sole provider of your emotional stability. This isn't what we call a healthy dynamic. This is a recipe for resentment. Being a man is about emotional strength and stability. And that doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or pretend to be invincible, but it does mean you stand firm, rooted in your own sense of self. You must realize that being a man doesn't involve being emotionally needy. It's about the blessing of Stoicism, a state where you draw strength from within, not from someone else. When you can confidently stand on your own without relying on her to make you whole, that's when you create the fertile ground for lasting attraction. You can still express how much she means to you, but it's essential to frame it in a way that doesn't undermine your emotional autonomy. Telling her she makes your life better is one thing. Saying you're incomplete without her is another. The key is in the way you say it. Instead of saying, "I can't live without you," say something like, "My life is already great, but having you in it makes it even better. You inspire me to be the best version of myself, and I'm grateful for what we share." Notice the shift. It's not a cry for emotional survival. It's a confident acknowledgement of how much better your life is because of her presence. This is the crux of modern Stoicism. You are a complete man, whole and strong on your own. And your attraction to her comes from a place of choice, not necessity. That's what keeps the spark alive. This is not about pretending to be emotionally distant, but rather ensuring that you aren't emotionally dependent. You must convey that you are a full and capable individual who chooses her because she adds something wonderful to your life, not because you can't function without her. A woman will find a man who stands on his own far more attractive than one who clings to her for emotional survival. The difference is in the energy you bring to the table. A man rooted in the old Stoic principles understands that emotional dependence is not a sign of love but of weakness. A modern Stoic man doesn't need anyone to complete him, but he chooses the right partner to enhance his life. That's the kind of man who commands respect, keeps attraction alive, and builds a relationship based on mutual admiration, not obligation. So the next time you feel the urge to tell her, "I can't live without you," take a step back, reflect on your emotional state, then reframe your thoughts into something that reflects your strength, your independence, and the love you have to offer, not from a place of need, but from a place of genuine desire and gratitude. This is the essence of being a modern Stoic man, and the path to creating lasting attraction and respect in your relationships. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Just remember, women are attracted to men who are grounded in themselves, emotionally, physically, and mentally. If you're happy and whole on your own, she'll respect you more, and the attraction will naturally grow. But never make her feel like you rely on her for your happiness or identity. That's a sure way to kill the connection. Love her, appreciate her, but always make sure you're standing strong on your own 2 feet. In a healthy relationship, both people should choose each other freely, not out of need. When you communicate with confidence and respect, you'll keep the attraction alive, and your relationship will be stronger for it. Take this advice to heart, and remember your value doesn't come from anyone else. It comes from within you. See you in the next video.